I did that speech. And then in the evening, the organizers were like, hey, the big man wants your speech. I'm like, please, ninataka kwenda Victoria Falls.
Big man being the president.
The president. I don't want to be...
Hechi.
He wants your speech. I'm like, Aki Jamini,
you and this Hechi are so many.
I'm like, no. Yeah. Victoria Falls.
Up on your end, one-way trip.
Clueless. Same episodes. Yeah. As in... Anyway, so... But one journalist told me my speech couldn't be printed in the papers. Couldn't be covered. I said, it's okay. We have video.
And we've got
video.
And we're going to watch it now.
Me, I'm not censored.
Yes.
So it's good. So that door opened. That Zim episode.
I love, just let me say this. I love what you're saying because you're showing courage wins. Boniface Mwangi here said, speak courage.
Oh, yeah.
Speak truth. You get? Like.
And something funny about Boni, my mom used to call Boni her son. They knew each other like that.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. So Boniface is someone I actually have so much time for.
Yeah. I love what CTA did for Boniface. And if you haven't watched his CTA, do your life a favor.
Exactly.
And even this fact of his narrative being told by somebody else.
Yeah.
And you therefore thinking a certain way about. That's what I think CTA sort of helped him do. But this is so powerful. You sound like you've become and we're going to continue the story, but an activist without
knowing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're just passionately fighting for this different things, and for you it's different things. It
just keeps opening up.
Exactly.
But all of these issues are interrelated. Even if you think of, there is an element of colonization linked to the anger that a lot of African men have that they then take out on women.
Complete.
These things are all linked.
Yep. There's when you speak to Black Americans and you understand the identity hole that they have.
Yeah.
You begin to understand on a larger scale where we may head to
if we don't
ourselves out. Go back to our roots and just figure out who are we. I love what you asked.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason why I do CTS, to answer that question.
Yeah. And so I always tell myself, why am I in those spaces? And I say, okay, you're African, Adele. That's why you're here. Stop thinking you're less than because you're not a diplomat, you're not a UN agent, you're not with the AU, you're not, you walk into some rooms and you're just like, what? Me? And I'm like, but see, I'm African. If that is not a reason enough, surely what is? To talk about my continent and my continent's future. And then more so, I'm an African woman. We are already a vulnerable community. So, it's valid even more for me to be in that room, And so the Zim experience was I cried at balancing. When I was leaving Zim, I didn't want to leave. I really felt at home there. And when we left, we did the Zim episode. Then I got hit up on Instagram again by someone who is working on a project that we're still in talks about, so I can't go too much into it. But what I want to share is that you never know who's watching. So someone from the ministry that has tourism under its docket in Zim watched our Zim Legally Clueless Tours Zimbabwe episode, shared it with this woman who's South African and said, you have to work with her on this network of yours. She then says, this guy looks so familiar. But now, she's the one who talked to Macron.
Wow.
When she's telling me all of these things, I'm like, how are these conversations happening in countries so far?
I keep saying the internet has no borders.
None whatsoever. And so I feel like speaking your truth, man, it's a major key.
And it's a scarcity.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't speak their truth. It's a scarce.
Because you lose certain people. You lose certain... I'm pretty sure there are brands that I could never work with because of the things that I've said. But also in the same breath, there are brands that now would die to work with me because of the things that I've said.
Yeah.
I know I'm not a mass Kenyan product and I'm okay with it. because I feel like my calling and my purpose lies on a continental
Fully get it.
space, and so that's what I'm trying to actualize, so that I live that full life. Like without, I always say, I want, like when I die, not to die with
Yani, the lapel batteries died because of just how amazing the conversation has been, and long, but long reach.
Yeah.
So we've not even felt like it's this long.
Exactly.
It's going to 8 o'clock.
Right?
Yeah. What would have
Crazy.
thought? I love it.
Yeah.
Let me ask, if somebody wants to partner with you for Legally Clueless, have it be they have a story that they feel like they need to share, or they would like to become partners in terms of they'd like to advertise on your platform. What are the ways in which, how do you go, what's the process?
So in terms of sharing your story, initially I had we have a hotline for the podcast.
Okay.
Where people will send like a 1-minute voice note, tell me a bit about the story they want to share, and then I would be able to reach out to you, and then we record it. So I have different softwares that I use depending on if you have a laptop or if you only have a smartphone, so that nobody feels like they can't share their story. Legally Clueless runs on the ethos that first, it's okay to be human. It's absolutely okay not to know. It's a huge part of being human. And number two, that all African stories are valid. So I never tell you what is interesting about you. Some stories that are shared have no end. They just are there. It's just there.
Yep.
You know, when I think when we were in Meru and I recorded a story of this guy who, when he was younger, they were drinking changa. You know, he buried some of his primary school classmates because of changa. And now he's in uni, and there was no idea. And then now I've actualized, and it was there. The story has not. We found it at a point where the story has not progressed, and so it was just there. But it doesn't make his story any less valid.
Are you like my other undercover twin? That's exactly what I say about CTA. I say she's still breathing.
Yeah.
So it's just because, and that's why people keep saying bring the person back. I'm
like,
yes, you're right. I will always bring the people back, but I need them to live life. The story is not over.
A little more, yeah.
You get what I mean? So I've never finished the Owen story. I've never finished Bonnie's. I'm not even finishing yours. I'm just getting to, we're here.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you get what I mean?
I get you. And so, so on the podcast, if you go to any of the podcast pages, I mean,
first of all, you're on audio podcast. So let's,
So Legally Clueless has now grown into a platform, right? That has the core being the audio episodes that go up every Monday, which are on Google Podcasts, they're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, they're on Ghana, Stitcher, TuneIn, and
Apple Music. Apple Podcasts.
Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music. Literally, we are everywhere you can stream music or any audio on, we're there. And if you go to our podcast or our Instagram page, or if you go to adelleonyango.com, there's a direct link that has all the links. So you decide which app is better for you. We're on Deezer, across the board. So on our episode show notes, and even the bio, and even on our Instagram page, which is Legally Clueless Podcast, the hotline is in the bio. And then also there's now a Google form, so that if you are not able to record it, the Google form helps me refine the process a bit better, because now you feel in a bit more about the story. And I let you sometimes sit with the story a bit to know, do you truly want to share it? Will you change your mind in a month? Do you want to, in a month, share another story, not that one? We've had situations like that. And then now I reach out to you, we set a date to record, and I record you. So in that regard, I've recorded listeners from Nigeria, from different parts of Kenya, from, where was that chick? Bogota, like just people across the board, and that's the power of new media, really.
Yep.
And we get feedback from South Africa, from Zim, from Ghana, from Rwanda, Tanzania, which I thought there would be a language barrier. It seems not to affect that. So it's really powerful.
Yep.
And then it has a video series,
Yep.
which is seasonal. So we've done 2 seasons. And we have a bright yellow set, and we get different Africans to come onto it and just share their stories. And so it's 13 episodes per season. We've done 2 seasons so far. We've just wrapped season 2. In a bit, we'll start. We'll share season 3.
Yep.
And those ones are on our YouTube channel, which is Legally Clueless. Also on our YouTube channel is the tour series, because now it started off as I want to record African stories, but I was like, also this space that Africans occupy is glorious.
Yep.
Why can't we show these dope things that were even to other Africans?
Yep.
Even to other Kenyans. When we did the Kenyan tour, they were learning about other Kenyan cities and counties from there, because we don't really, it's still a privilege also to travel to other counties.
Yep.
So in the tour series, you will see the Nairobi episode, the Nakuru episode. And when we go there, we record some Africans living there as well. And we show a lot about the county. So Nairobi, Nakuru, Mombasa, Kisumu. Then after that, there's the Legally Clueless Tours Paris episode. There's the Legally Clueless Tours Zimbabwe episode. And so now we'll be doing more of like going to these different places, which is like that's our new, is that our newest baby? I think so.
Yep.
I think so.
I love
That's
it.
our newest baby. And now it's to grow into building communities, and we're going to launch something possibly in May that kind of equips Africans with the ability to, in their communities, record stories that we don't want to die. So, for example, when we did the Kisumu episode, we ended with me going to visit my grandma and her taking us around our shags, telling me about this hut was, your mother-in-law, that's why I call you Nyakwarosena. You're this, and I'm like, oh, so I'm your mother-in-law, so you need to respect me. She's like, hey, even you need to respect me. And you're learning about a cultural thing, naming, and all of these things. And I felt so silly. I was like, why haven't I recorded my grandmother's? This is so talkative and had so many stories. These are stories that will fade away, and we have not documented them as Africans. So how will we know who we are if we're letting these stories just go? So we are really going to launch something that will equip Africans in various communities, wherever they are, to start archiving all of the stories that matter to them in their community. Because I can't be everywhere, I can't go everywhere in real time, and it's very important for us to start having a hub where we keep all of those stories that matter to us in our communities.
I just feel led to do this, which is, I keep saying, the support of the donations or the, no matter small, for me, in fact, there's nothing like small, because small is relative to what somebody has.
Yeah,
you
and
get what I mean? Somebody can have 10 shillings and they give you 5. That's half of what they have. You get somebody can have 1 million and they give you 100 shillings. Still,
they see value in you.
So it takes finances for you to travel to these places. What if just from hearing this, somebody's watching this in Rwanda and is like, listen, I want to pay for you and your videographer to come to Rwanda. I'm very serious. I've experienced this. You get what I mean? It was through the donations of people that took me and Derek to Zambia.
Fantastic.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And next we want to go to Uganda, which we're doing.
Yeah.
Because for me, that's what I'm saying. I love what you say. I also don't look at CTA like locked within the geographical borders of Kenya. You get?
Yeah.
Not even Africa. I'm after Africans for Africa.
Yeah.
So Trevor Noah needs to be on CTA.
Wherever they are. Yes.
Africans for Africa and Africans for the world. So I want to figure out if people want to support you just by financially saying, can I just give you this and you just keep doing what you're doing?
Yeah.
Is that possible?
Yeah. And even so, either by giving things or even collaborations.
Yep.
For me, I don't hide my email, which is adelle@adelleonyango.com.
Wonderful.
Just send me an email. I'm constantly online, like business
Yep.
doesn't allow you not to.
Even if they DM you in EIG.
Even if they DM me, by the way, I actually check all my DMs.
Yep.
Because I've gotten work
Through those
through
DMs.
DMs.
Yep.
So I'm open to collaboration. I'm open to like-minded people. If they even want to share their stories, if they want to partner in different countries, like I'm more than open to that. Yeah.
Woo. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like you've wrapped it up, but I want to just leave the floor to you in case there's something that it is that you feel like you haven't said that you'd like to say. But before that, can I pray for you?
Yes. Go ahead, man.
Wonderful. I make it your story. First of all, thank you so much.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Like, we have thoroughly loved this story.
This has been so awesome. Thank you.
We've thoroughly enjoyed.
Yeah.
These guys are still awake, so
Yes.
that's how you know. Time has flown. It's
So
actually
quick.
past 8 p.m. We started this in the morning. You get?
Yeah.
So thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for coming and being vulnerable. Thank you so much for just giving of your whole life. Mine is to say, may God bless the works of your hands.
Thank you.
May God continue to elevate legally clueless.
Yeah, exactly.
Clueless. It's the ancestors.
They are ready. They are like, even us, we've been here since
Yes.
10.
May He bless the work of your hands across
Thanks.
the continent.
Thanks.
And beyond. May you continue to speak your truth to the people that you meet. I love the fact that you've spoken and been brave in front of all these different cheese.
Hey, cheese.
And may He protect you
Thank
as you
you.
continue doing this thing. Guys, I need to go back and say,
Aww.
you see this book here? It is on Amazon. It is on different platforms. Link is in bio. Get it.
Yeah.
Get it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I have thoroughly enjoyed this.
Yeah.
For me, I just throw it back to you to just do a parting shot.
So first, thank you so much. I think first when you reached out to me to be here, you always, there's like an imposter syndrome that attacks and you're just like, Akimimi. But I always have time for you since your song 1FM, remember? And I think I have a deep appreciation for what you do. I remember I told you on that phone call, these are the type of interviews I do. I don't do shallow, I don't do things that don't chambua issues, I don't do things that don't even leave me introspecting. So Sembu said the audience. If me myself, I walk away not even like, what is that? Even the audience is like, okay, you know. So this is the type of things that I feel are important enough for me to be part of, and I think are very important in what I was saying, documenting our stories. You're creating a bank that is so important, not just content. I think it goes more than that. My niece is going to be able to watch not only my story, but like other Africans who will inspire, my nieces, that is, my nephew as well, you know. They're going to have options so that they're not only watching cloud chasers, right? So I think first is to thank you, not for having me, you, Nick and Derek, not for having me, but for the work that you do. And to insist that you should keep going, even on the times where there's no funding, on the times where maybe something doesn't get as much views as you wanted, the times where you're questioning, why am I doing this? Why am I, like, ata isongi, you know what I mean? There are those moments where you get so frustrated and you want things in your time, but the universe has its own timing. Even in those moments, please focus on the end goal, because it's necessary work that you're doing. 1. 2, the work that you're doing will inspire those of us who are doing similar work. So if I quit, it'll affect you. You'll be like, Kwani ameona nini that maybe she's seen something that, hey, even I swear, are we going to fail somewhere, you know? If you quit, it'll affect me. We can't afford that. Not as Africans in the new media space, which gives us a space to own our own stories. Tell them in our own way, in our own voices, in our own languages, even though we're speaking English. But you get what I mean.
Yep.
So that's first. So that parting shot was for you guys, right? And then I think for those who are watching and listening,
because we're also on podcast, just
you
so
know
you know.
it. Yes.
CT is also on podcast, but they're for real.
Yeah. Is to say, I think we all need to be to understand that we're very valid, we're very important as we are. I think there are very many things, and this is not only for African women, but Africans across the board. There are very many things and people who tell us we're less than to take advantage of us. Be it commercial products, be it politicians, be it the West, be it whatever. Please start acknowledging that you're valid the way you are with your story. Be it if it's a more traditional story than it is modern, it is valid. Be it a more modern story than it is traditional, it is valid. Be it you speak English and not Kiswahili, you are a valid African. Be it you speak your vernacular language and not Kiswahili, you are valid. You're African, you're needed, you're very valid, we want your story, right? We need your truth, and you're deserving of all good things and not deserving of all bad things like bad leadership. So as we go into a very crazy time as Kenyans, which is election, we lose our minds every 4 years. I don't know why, and we're adults and we can manage these things. Do not allow yourself to be divided by other people who tell you you're less than, or tell you the problems you have are because of another community, things that are neither here nor there, yet them behind the scenes, they do business together, they know they're valid, they stand in their power, and then they want you not to. Acknowledge your power, acknowledge that you're valid, and refuse anything less than or anything that reduces that. Or anyone, regardless of what community they come from, right? Specifically to young Africans and young Kenyans, numbers. Why do you think every 4 years these guys all of a sudden know Sheng?
That's funny.
Why? Mbona they don't speak Sheng in parliament throughout? It's only on specific years. All of a sudden, Sipangwingwi is running across their Twitter pages. Why? Why do they think all of a sudden it's like youth, the buzzwords, youth, women? It's a numbers game. Africa has a youth bulge, meaning 60 to 80% of the population are below 25. Meaning, if politics is a numbers game, bruv, you need those votes from those people, isn't it? So you'll be told so many random things. Question. Why? Why are you saying you're going to do this? How do you intend to do this? Why do you intend to do this? You know, why have you decided on that? Question. Young Kenyans who are running YouTube channels, when you interview people who are vying for different positions, do not insult the power that new media gives you. You have a power that traditional media is already compromised. They wouldn't tell us truth. New media, you can tell truth. So if you have these people, which they will come to you because, again, numbers, ask the questions that matter. Unemployment, healthcare, arts. I love Bien for questioning what is your art plan for the culture, Other countries actually have ministries that work, intentionally work towards these things. Ask those questions. Ask about sustainability. You want to give us 6,000 bob. How sustainable is this? Why 6,000? How did we arrive here? Ask. Don't get swept up in the hype, because who suffers for the next 4 years? It's us. I think for me, it's just that. Can we just acknowledge our power, acknowledge how valid we are, acknowledge that, yes, we've been in an abusive relationship with our leaders. Get out of that cycle. Understand that you deserve much better. You deserve good leadership. You deserve a country that works for you. Even if you don't pay taxes, you deserve it. You're Kenyan, you're valid. Yeah.
Just before we leave, again, I have to say nothing but a big thank you to you, Adelle. And last but definitely not least, Sarova Pan-Afric.
Yeah.
You guys have come through like the flu. God bless you. If you guys are looking for a Sunday plan, let me tell you, Sunday brunch at Sarova for midday to 4 o'clock. You can come with your kids. The details are in the description. And just to say a parting shot, one last thing.
Oh,
you see this
thank
book? You see this book? You see this
you.
book? You see
This
this book?
guy.
You see this book? Go into the description right now and get it. Get
Thank
it.
you.
Get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. Okay, Derek, you can press stop now.